Well, hey folks, how's it going today? I hope everybody's doing really good. If you've been watching the channel, I've been kind of tinkering on this old K archtop here. This belongs to a friend and had some string buzz and fret buzz, and it had a bunch of high frets down in this area, and it did have some down in this end of the fretboard as well. So I ended up leveling them off and recrowned them, polished everything back up, and now this thing is just stellar. It plays really well. Had a lot of buzz, especially when you get down in this area of the fretboard. So that's all good now. So the playability is really great. No more dead notes or buzz or anything like that, which is, how you want things to be, right? Well, on these older guitars, a lot of times, right where the neck and the body meet, that neck joint, there usually is a hump. There can be a lot of frets that lift there for some reason. I'm really not sure why. Maybe they just didn't pound them in hard enough at the factory. Again, this is a very old instrument, so a lot can happen over the years. But it does play nice. It's got a nice sound to it. And, like I said, it's just a cool old piece. Now, I thought this was probably from the 1940s. And I'm not a K guru or a harmony expert or anything like that, but one of the viewers commented on that video, and he was a K guru. He knew his stuff. So he chimed in and said that he thought this guitar was more likely from the 1930s. Again, I really don't know a lot about it. If you guys know anything about this, chime in. And we know it belonged to Emma Powers because she carved her name in the back of the headstock. Pretty cool stuff there. It's got a nice ring to it. It really sustains well. I mean, these aren't a super loud guitar, and it does have flat wounds on it, so probably not what you want to play bluegrass on, but it's just got a sweet tone to it, and the neck really, it's got a pretty pronounced beef to it, but it's kind of narrow this way, and the fretboard is, it's over 1/4 of an inch thick. That is the thickest fretboard I've ever seen in my life. But it does play well. There's no sharp fret ends or anything like that. I'm not sure if the tuners are original. They could be. There's no extra holes or anything like that, so I really don't know. That being said, I believe this guitar to be pretty much 100% original. It may have had a pick guard on it. I'm going to say it did because there's a hole here and one up here. So it did have a guard on it, I'm guessing, at one point. I kind of like it like this, really. The strings are so high off the top of the guitar. It's not like you're going to scratch it with your pick. Anyway, so yeah, really fun guitar. My friend bought this really, really right. He paid $40 for this guitar at a yard sale with the original hard shell case. Yeah, I mean, it happens, folks. They're out there, especially stuff like this that nobody really knows a lot about. The average Joe that has an old guitar kicking around in the closet, they don't know much about these. Not that I would take advantage of somebody, but if I didn't know a ton about it and I saw it for $40, I would definitely be on board. And that's the thing. I mean, you don't really know until you get the thing home, what's going on. You can look at it real quick there, at the sale or whatever, but it's really, it's hard to do business like that because there's other people walking into the sale that, if you set the thing down, they're probably just going to take it. So, you gotta think on your feet. And, me being a repairman, it's not really a big deal usually. And I can tell within about 15, 20 seconds what's going on, whether it's a go or a no. But, I can fix most any problems with guitars. I mean, it may not be back to factory specs, but I haven't found many that I couldn't actually fix. There are a few cases where it's just not worth it. The guitar could be kind of a low budget guitar, and I'm not saying, I couldn't fix a lot of them, but a lot of them it's just really not worth the effort and the time to restore something that's just going to play like crap and sound even worse. So, but something like this, definitely. Now it's kind of a different tone. I'm really not sure how to describe it. It's an archtop guitar. It kind of reminds me of like a 335 or something unplugged. Of course, it's not, this is a lot louder, but the tonality is kind of like that. Now it's intonated okay. It's not bad. The bridge is not pinned, so I can move it and whatnot. So, just where it happened to land when I tightened the strings up seems to be pretty good. It could be off a little bit. I don't think it's bad though. And like I said, I mean, I think now you could probably lower the action down on this guitar a little more. It would play better and probably be closer intonation wise, because when you got to push the strings down a lot, it does mess with the intonation on the guitar. So, this doesn't have a truss rod in it either. So, these old guitars that are lacking a truss rod, I think it's better to have the action down as low as you can get it, or where you feel comfortable with it. And the reason is, if the action is down, the string pull is going to be a lot less on the the neck and the body. Now this has a trapeze tailpiece, so it's really not pulling on the top. It's just pushing down on it here where the bridge is. But if you get that down a little bit lower, the string pull will be a lot straighter and less apt to want the neck to bend like this, okay? So if it's straight and you got the string pull pretty much straight with the neck and the fretboard, it's definitely going to be a lot better off in the long run. Now, some of these guitars without truss rods, you just can't do anything. You tune it up and it's just like playing a banana. It's just horrible. You can pop the fretboards off and put something in there, put a truss rod in it, or even just this piece of steel in there. I've done that too. So, in the long run, I think he's got a great instrument here. And I know he really, really likes this guitar, and he knows what it is. And, this is when they made real stuff. This isn't like laminate, particle board. This is real stuff. And, it was done quite well, too. For it to last as long as it has, especially in the state of Maine, which I'm sure this guitar has seen some hot, some cold, some humidity, all the good stuff. Thankfully, it was in a case, which probably did protect it quite a lot. Now, the man that my friend bought this from didn't play or anything, so I'm sure it probably did sit around, at some point in its life. But remarkably, it stayed nice. So anyway, I just thought I'd share this with you, and just wanted to play it a little bit and make sure everything was good to go and everything's on the up and up. I think this thing's got many, many years left in it. I mean, you could double the lifespan of this guitar right now just by, taking care of it and, keeping it away from the elements. These old guitars like this without a truss rod, I recommend slack tuning them when you're not playing them. I know it's kind of a pain to tune it up every time, but without a truss rod, it's really a good way to go. You don't want those necks to be permanently bowed like that because they're really hard to bring them back. I've had to steam them, heat them, clamp them. I've done compression fret jobs on older guitars like this because they were bowed so bad. And I put wide tang fret wire in it, which will actually cause the neck to, straighten out or even back bow. The width of that fret tang being a little wider, you add that up over 20 some frets, and even if it's a couple thousandths, it's going to make that wood kind of grow, and it has to expand when you put those wires in, and that's what it'll do. You have to be careful doing that because if you go too far, then the neck's going to have back bow in it. You won't be able to play it. And the only fix then is to remove the frets, sadly enough, and start over. Which, isn't always a great thing because if you put wide tang in there, more than likely you're going to have to widen the fret slots a little bit anyway because they won't go in. And that's a whole science in itself. You got to know what you're doing if you're going to attempt something like that, okay? So if you've never done it, then I recommend taking it to somebody that has. And I've never been caught on that one. I've come close a few times. I refretted a guitar one time, and boy, I mean, the neck is just perfectly straight. You're just not going to get any more relief that way unless you put heavy strings on it. But I didn't go past the mark. It's just right, which I got lucky. I'm not lying to you. So that could have been bad. And like I said, I would have had to pull all the fret wire back out, start over again, and kind of go from there. Well, anyways, folks, enjoy your Independence Day wherever you are. I know some of you folks are not in America, but enjoy the day anyways, okay? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. The weather looks to be nice in Maine tomorrow, so who knows? I may get out on the water and fire the boat up and take a ride around the lake, and we'll see. I know my dogs will surely appreciate that. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the views and all the nice comments. A lot of new subscribers are showing up to the channel. I really appreciate you guys checking this out. It's kind of a fun channel, it's kind of thrown together most days, but it is what it is. It's real, though. You don't have to guess if it's, phony or fake. This is the real deal, how it really is. And again, I really do appreciate all the views. Be sure to go into my playlists on the channel. I have everything broke up into different sections, guitar repairs, guitar demos, amp demos, fret jobs, you name it, it's in there. I just checked yesterday. I'm not quite up to 500 videos yet, but getting pretty close. And I would say this is about the time of year when I started the channel. It was about a year ago. I actually forgot the day I started it, so I'm going to say I knew it was in June, close to July, but I don't think I wrote the date down. Oh well, it's been pretty much a year anyway, so. Now Now the string spacing's a little, I mean, it's got a nice straight string pull, and you got good distance from the two outside strings to the fretboard, but it's the space in between the strings is a little close. That's why I kind of missed that note. It's not, horrible. It just takes a few minutes to get used to that, and then you're good to go. But really crazy, crazy cool guitar here. I love playing these vintage instruments. It's just, it's a tip of the hat and a wink and a nod to the people that were building these, in my opinion. And it's just cool to see the quality, how they built it, what they used for materials. There wasn't CNC machines back then and stuff. This was all done by hand mostly. I know they were, bending stuff and you have to steam bend the sides obviously, but a lot of this was done by hand. And, in the 30s, I don't think guitar production was really, in an industrial type setting then. I think it was beginning, but a lot of this stuff, was still done by hand. So it's just a really cool experience to play an old guitar like this. It still has a voice. This is a cocker though, I will tell you that. I've played a lot of these old guitars, harmonies, Ks and whatnot. This is one of the best ones I probably have played. It's straight, it plays good, sounds good. It's actually quite comfortable to play. The body's not really thick. So it's really, for a big guitar like this, it's really comfortable to play, honestly. I don't know how they would even attempt to play live in a big band. It's just no volume. I'm guessing the guitar players pretty much got drowned out back in the day. That's why they amplified them, right? Well, anyway, folks, thanks again. I won't keep rambling on, but I could talk about old guitars for the rest of the day. It's just something I really enjoy. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke.